Everybody, welcome back. And one thing that we're seeing is a hidden job market that is emerging right before our eyes. And if you're not in this job market, guys, if you're not aware of this job market, if you're not part of the club, then you're probably not sure what's going on. You know, you're not in the loop. You're not part of the country club. So, get good. But you got to get in the club first. That's the first step. But the second step, and I joke, but it's funny because at the same time, it's kind of true. It is kind of like a country club type working environment where it's gate kept. It is very gate kept to the point where you don't hear about this stuff. And what's interesting, and I was doing research on this, and somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. If somebody's an expert on the Bureau of Labor Statistics and you catch me in saying I'm wrong on something here, tell me. But I was doing research on this, and this work that I'm about to talk about in this video, guys, it does not show in the jobs data, okay? Let me repeat that. You will not see this work in the jobs numbers, okay? This does not show up. And yet, there are thousands and thousands of contractors. Yes, contractors. It's 1099 contract. So you owe taxes on the money. You're responsible. There's no benefits. There's nothing that you're going to get out of it besides the cold hard cash that you're going to make. But it is fully remote income. This is work that is done on a fully remote basis. And this is work that we're seeing a lot of the laid off white collar professionals being thrust into as we speak. And as I said, guys, for those who are still in their cushy seats on their lifeboats in corporate America and they feel secure in their jobs, they feel like they're not going to get kicked off the lifeboat, fantastic. I hope you get to stay on. But these boats may buckle, as they said in the Titanic. And so if the boats are overfilled, guys, they might have to kick some people off. And that's unfortunately what we're seeing. So what's happening, though, is interesting. You're not seeing these jobs, the ones I'm talking about right now in this video, the ones we're diving into. Remember, guys, these jobs are contract, these jobs are fully remote, and these jobs involve AI. Three things that everybody loves, right? No benefits. Now, one of them people actually do love. I'm being sarcastic on the other two. But, no benefits, and of course, AI. Two of the things people love most in corporate America these days. But that's what we're dealing with. So three things: remote income, flexibility. I mean, that's the second thing you could say, remote, flexible income, if you want, or you can combine those two. I combine them because it's fantastic. And here's the thing. I was told by certain individuals when I was looking for my last role to look for this. And I was also told by these same individuals not to tell anybody about this role because people don't want you finding out. Now, I'm not going to tell you, and I can't tell you which projects this involves. I cannot tell you what this work involves because there's all those clauses and contracts you sign, all the legal frameworks, non-confidentiality bullshit, whatever it is. I cannot tell you anything about what kind of projects I'm working on or anybody else. That being said, I can tell you in general terms what this type of work involves. Think about it from the perspective, you're an AI lab and you want to train your models, okay? Your models have reached a plateau. Now, what's happening is you're starting to notice that there's this thing called model collapse. Now, model collapse is this idea that your AI models are not functioning as well because basically the garbage in, garbage out thesis. And guys, please, I'm no expert on this. So if you're a data scientist, please tell me I'm wrong in the comments. But the thing is with this garbage in, garbage out, from my understanding, if you put garbage into the AI, you're going to get garbage out. And that's how you get this model collapse type behavior. Now, if you feed it with fresh human insights and fresh human data, which would be people who are annotating certain things that you need data on. For example, solve this math problem or solve this financial complex, problem with these discounted mechanisms and expected corporate whatever, return on investment, internal rate of return. So you can do all sorts of stuff. But the idea is you train annotators to then train AI. So you're basically having humans in the loop and they're paying these contractors pretty big money. In fact, a lot of the wages that you're seeing for this type of work, and this would have been a dream. Think about it. 10 years ago, this would have been a dream for people training these models. Say you're a financial expert, or say you're a tech software expert, and you're able to train these models and use whatever it is that they have to teach the AI model to become smarter. It involves a lot of writing. It involves a lot of reading. It involves a lot of the basic arithmetic and stuff that they taught you in school. Isn't that funny how that works? They told us to study all these things in school. Now, they also told us we would not have a calculator in our pocket. At least that's what my math teacher told me. So maybe they were partially wrong, partially right. But some of these jobs, guys, and I've even showed a couple people when I was working on the projects, I was like, hey, check this out. And those couple people were my parents. But I showed them, and basically they were dumbfounded. My dad was like, this looks like you're back in school or something. It looks like you're back in college. And I was like, yeah, it kind of is. Because what you're doing is you're grading the artificial intelligence on its outputs as a human, putting it back into the system, and that's how they're training their data, is the idea. So it's called reinforcement learning from human feedback. And so this is the type of work you would be getting paid for. So if you look up this type of work online, you're gonna find all kinds of platforms. And one of the platforms I used to work on, which I don't work on anymore, and I'll give you an example, is called DataAnnotation.tech. DataAnnotation.tech is an example of one of these platforms that if you go on there, they usually have some type of freelance work. Now, from my understanding, it involves, this type of stuff. And basically, as I mentioned, these freelance AI labs will contract with these platforms. Now, a lot of people think about the ethics of this. And, when they think about a platform like DataAnnotation.tech, they think about the fact that, hey, it's one of those things where I'm replacing my own job. Like, yeah, they have all these different roles and tasks I can do, and I can make 30 or 40 bucks an hour, because some of them do pay 30, 40, 50 bucks an hour, if not more. The thing is, you're kind of replacing your own role, right? So do you want to do that? That's the ethical dilemma. That's where people that's the argument anyway. Hey, I'm replacing my own role. They're not going to need humans anymore. This is kind of dystopian. Why am I doing this? But if you think about it also, you're really just reading and writing, and it's good for the brain too. It's a good mental exercise, and you're getting paid for it. So there's two ways you can look at it therefore. And, some of the wages, like I said, for this work can be very good. Now, on DataAnnotation.tech, they do have jobs that pay north of 50 bucks an hour. I've probably even seen people making more than that. You go to Reddit, check out the stories on, they have different subreddits. DataAnnotation.tech is one example. Now, another one I've seen people have success with. And guys, I cannot tell you if I work on these platforms. I can tell you for sure, I used to work on DataAnnotation.tech, but, that ship has sailed. But I'm not going to mention anything about me working or not working on any of these platforms. I'm not recommending these platforms. Like I said, there's non-competes, there's all kinds of stuff. But another platform that you might want to consider is Micro One. Now, Micro One is a platform that has, from my understanding, people are frustrated with the process for getting onboarded. But from my understanding, once you get onboarded to Micro One, people have had a lot of good success. And so the wages on this one can range, like I said, data annotation entry, I think, is 20 to 30 bucks an hour, in that range, maybe even 15. But when you think about Micro One, I've heard people making anywhere from 50 to 100 bucks an hour, depending on the skill, depending on what you're looking at. If you're a law expert, if you're a domain expert, whatever it is, you might get paid more. But I think it's one of those things where obviously it's going to depend on your skills for all of this. But if you have a specialized niche skill set, then it might be a lot easier for you to make those higher wages. So the second one, and I'll try to leave these links down below. By the way, these are not affiliate links. I'm not, some of these platforms do have affiliate links, but these are not affiliate links, at least these first two. And if there was an affiliate link, I would disclose it in the description as a referral link. You'll see that down there. But the third one, guys, is going to be Mercor. Now, Mercor is going to be, and they do have a referral program. So if there is a referral, I haven't even really tried the referral program, but if I do end up trying it, you might see a link down below. We'll see. But you can refer people to Mercor as well. Everybody can. And if somebody ends up working on the platform, you'll get a commission basically. But the idea is, that's one thing I can tell you about them. The idea though is that Mercor has the similar process as Micro One and DataAnnotation. Now, from my understanding, and I could be wrong, I've heard rumors going around that Mercor is in an aggressive phase right now where they're really ramping things up, and there could be a lot of opportunities on the platform. Just saying, guys, check them out. I mean, if you're interested, Mercor, this one, from my understanding, has a lot of larger, more generalized type projects versus, like Micro One might be more niche based for very high paying contractors. And Mercor will certainly have those niche opportunities as well. If you look at their job listings, you can find out, because all of this is public. This is stuff I can disclose to you. The job listings themselves are public. But if you want to learn more about the projects and stuff and everything that goes into it, you'll actually have to get into the club, right? So the idea is first get into the country club, right? The gate-kept community that people don't want you to know about, right? That's why a lot of this is not talked about too, because think about it. If I'm making $100 an hour, do I really want more competition? And the answer is no. But here's the thing, guys. You watch my channel. We talk about the economy. We talk about all kinds of stuff. And, this is public knowledge. People can find this stuff out if they really want to. Now, most people, if you've made it this far, you're part of the 1% that's even interested or even considering this stuff. Most people are not even considering any type of freelancing. Most people hate their jobs and they don't want to improve their lives at all. So congratulations, you're part of the 1%, making it to the end of this video, or whatever, top 5%. I'll look at the stats and see. But, the point is, guys, you have a lot of opportunities in the 2026 job market. And, don't let anybody tell you differently. Look, I will just say that I have been very fortunate recently to have located a lot of these types of opportunities. And I can't mention anything regarding such because of all the non-competes. And I'm not going to get into the details, but at the same time, these opportunities have been a huge blessing. And especially coming out of a very toxic job situation where I was busting my ass and, doing work that I hated. And obviously I have a new full-time role as well. But to do this on the side as a contractor is truly a blessing. I mean, it really is, guys. The extra income it provides, the ability to save more money. One of the things that you'll see with this type of contracting stuff is that, the disposable income. That's one thing Americans lack. And so when you can get more of that freelance side income going, you get more of that disposable income, which can ultimately help you save more money, invest, and save for your future. So once again, guys, to recap, the 3 platforms we talked about today, check them out. They're going to be, first one, DataAnnotation.tech, second one, Micro One, and 3 is Mercor. Now, there's other platforms as well. Maybe you've heard of some of them. Leave them down below if you're interested, because from my understanding, guys, there's a lot of these out here and a lot of opportunities. And people want to look at the doom and gloom of all this AI stuff. But also think about the fact that people are making pretty good money, anywhere from, say, $50 an hour all the way up to $200 an hour doing this, or worst case, $20 an hour, online, fully remote, flexible, right? Doing this on your spare time for extra income, right? So this is the new economy we live in, and having the flexibility to do something like this, guys, it truly is a blessing for a lot of people, and maybe you could be part of that too. So check it out. Why not? Build your resume, see what you can figure out. They're all, they accept a lot of people, but you also have to, sell yourself and put your resume out there and see if you can get accepted. So anyway, thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Hope you all are doing well, and God bless America and God bless the K-shaped economy. Here we are. Take care, and we will see you in the next one.